everyone, I am back with the Stitch the Season Summer Part 2. I'll keep track of the parts as long as I can. I lose track eventually because there's probably going to be like 50 parts and I lose track. But anyway, I'm not as good at keeping track as some people. Hi, Corinne. And thank you for doing this project again. I have really enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. Okay, so what I ended up doing was putting my work in a hoop because I found that the fabric was starting to buckle again, and I didn't want that. And it dawned on me, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me sooner. Yeah, slow old brain. Anyway, so what I did was I thought, well, instead of pins, use a hoop, Martha. So I used a hoop. Oh, and hi and welcome, everybody. I just jumped right in, didn't I? Welcome to my newbies. Welcome to the people who've been here for a while. And thank you so much for being here. Sorry, thought processes. Okay, so what I did was, and it's funny because I believe it was Linda. Hi, Linda. Said, take the honey pot and the beehive and take the colors from that. And it's funny because after I shut off the camera yesterday, I was looking through the box again and I thought, I have to decide what colors these flowers are going to be. I want to change them up. I don't want it to be as, this is almost more of a fall palette for me, an autumn palette for me. And so I want it to be more summery. I want it to be somewhat muted, but more summery. So I pulled out the honey pot and the beehive before that comment was ever made. And so that's where I'm going with this. So although there's not really an orange flower, this is, I don't know, these colors are a little off to me. That's kind of a muted reddish. I don't know the color names very well. That's got more pink in it. That's a very pale blue. There's some yellow in here, but there are browns and yellows. This is more of a golden, and those flowers are the same, yellow, and this more pinky peachy color, and then not quite red color over there, green leaves, which of course I'm incorporating. So I did pull those out and I did finish. I'm going to pull you down. Close your eyes if you don't like moving. So that's a come back. My camera stand changed. Okay. Oh, sorry. Wait. Okay, open your eyes. I did finish the flower with the thread painting, and I really do like it. This was 2 strands of floss for the white, 1 strand of black anchor, or you could use DMC black, the 6-strand floss, but I only used 1 strand, and 1 strand of a kind of a golden, I don't even know which one I used at this point. Anyway, yeah, I think it may have been this one, 676 DMC, maybe. I think that was it. It might have, let me move my stuff around a little and see. That was probably it. It was actually this one, which is a little lighter than that. I just can't find the, yeah, see, that's more golden. It wasn't that, that's too pale. I just have stuff thrown all over the place. It might have been that one. So this is 725. So that's what I used in the center of that flower. I also used it for the bee, and I made teeny weeny tiny golden, which I do believe I used the same color for, bullions for the body, and then I just used a strand of black in between, and for the legs and for the antennae. So there's a leg, and then I used, I'll bring you up just a little. Okay. I used this Coats metallic thread. It's got a little bit of sheen to it. Oop, that flipped the camera out. There it is. Okay, so it has some sheen to it. As you can see, the light reflecting off of it. Anyway, I used that for the wings of the bee, which I think is a pretty, sort of brightens it up a little bit kind of thing. All right, and then I wanted to move on to this flower, and I thought I should be recording this. I should be recording. I was in a crummy mood yesterday. I'm in a crummy mood again today. Can't explain it, but anyway, I will carry on. Hopefully that doesn't carry over into my work here. But I wanted to do these petals. I almost called them leaves. You can see I left 3 here. I wanted to use orange. I don't know why there's no orange in here, but with the golds and the yellows and the browns in the honey pot and all of that, I decided to use orange. I have some other fabrics out here. I'm going to move you, close your eyes, open your eyes. I have some other fabrics here. I pulled red. It's a mottled red. This is the orange. I pulled some pretty pinks. I pulled a pretty blue, couple of them that I may use for petals on some of the other flowers. And I pulled this, but I'm not going to use the flowers in it. What I'm going to use is the in-between fabric for that. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. That's what my thought was yesterday, and today could be a whole different ball of wax. So what I did was I pulled out tracing paper, and I have a big pad of this long tracing paper, and as you can see, I used this much and threw some away for the petals because there were little teeny bits left over. So here is petal number 6. I think if I put it there, oh gosh, now I have to move you again. Close your eyes. Okay, that's petal number 6. This is petal number 7. I hope the ceiling fan humming in the background does not take over this video, because sometimes the camera picks up background noises like that you don't want. But it is hot in my room, and it's only 11 o'clock. So let's see. This is number 8, so I have to get the fabric turned around. Oh my gosh, goodness gracious. I don't know which way that goes. I'll figure out when it's actually, I do know which way it goes. Let's see, it's gonna go, I think this is the correct side. Nope. I'm looking at the flower over onto the side. And these pieces are so tiny. And then I thought, you dummy, you should have cut it out all as one flower. And then I could have outlined it. Well, I didn't. So there you go. Oh my goodness gracious. I need a pair of tweezers, and I don't have any there. So that's, my fingers were not made to do these little tiny things. So that's 6, 7, and 8, which is, let's see if I cannot lose those, 6, 7, and 8 here. So I will sew those on with you. I used fly stitch here. I used kind of a fake fly stitch. I went up the center and then just did V's coming down. On this one, I just did up the center, and I did over on the edge here. And then on this one, I sort of did more towards the center. And then this one, I just did up and down and did little tiny stitches elsewhere. And this one, I went back to the fake fly stitch, more like, no, actually I did a fly stitch. Yep, see, I didn't want these to get lost. All right, so I'm going to move these over here onto my tablecloth to my side. All right, and we're gonna put those on. And then I don't know what I'm doing next. However, I pulled out a bunch of, let me move it again. There. I pulled out a bunch of green. And this one's going to be too thick. However, somebody, it may have been Corinne, it may have been Christine, it may have been somebody else, mentioned that you can take the heavier, this is DMC tapestry wool, and it's very thick. And I used it on the spring project. However, I don't want it that thick. But you can pull it apart. It's like a 4-strand, you know, wool. I mean, could you pull it apart further? Yes. Am I? No. It will make a mess if you try and pull it apart further. But I have 4 strands here, so I could always use that. I can use the Appletons, which I found in a local yarn shop. That's nice and thin. I could put 2 of these together to get a variation in color. I could put those together in a needle. I also have some size 5 greens here. And then I have a bunch more greens over on the side that are various sizes and shades of greens. So the leaves, I'm not sure how I'm going to do them. Have not decided yet, I should say. And I am thinking that through while I'm doing these other things. But this flower here, I am thinking that I am going to do probably like the wagon wheel, because if you look real closely here, this actually has 4 lines in it and you need 5. So I would probably put a line down here and do a wagon wheel around here, and then do something else beyond that. I'm not sure what. Now, as an aside, I'm going to zoom you back out. I know, in and out, in and out. As an aside, yesterday I received in the mail from Dharma Trading Company. I received a package that I'd ordered silk ribbon. Now, in the description, let me get my iPad out, which I meant to do before I started this, so there may be some editing through this video. Let me pull up the Trading Company. Okay. If you go to Dharma Trading, gosh, I was going to be seasick by the time I'm done. And you type in silk ribbon. This is if you want to get silk ribbon and color it yourself. I got the woven silk ribbon and I ordered the 1/4 inch. It's 27.5 yards or 25 meters. I thought that's a lot of yardage. There you go. Now you can see it better. And I thought I'll have ribbon for years. 27 yards is a lot. It was $16.96 if you buy 1 through 4 spools. Then it goes down in price. If you were to buy 5 through 9 spools, it's $15.75 each. And if you buy 10 or more spools, it's $14.70 each. The other one I was going to get was, wait, maybe I got the 8th. Now I can't remember which one I got. I think I got the 1/8 inch. Retract that statement. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think this is the 1/8 inch. Let me, oh, Martha, you can't even remember what you ordered, you know? That's bad. Nope, that's 1/4 inch. This is 1/4 inch. So I did buy the 1/4 inch. I almost got the 1/8 inch, but I thought I'll experiment with this. But you got to see this. This is my hand. That's the size spool I got. I expected it to be bigger. You know, it's funny. It's like your thought process and your whatever. Anyway, it's very nice silk ribbon. It's woven. It's got straight edges on it. They have another kind that is bias cut, I think, but the edges tend to fray. It says right on the Dharma Trading Company site that the and it's 100% silk, made in China, of course. So I am going to be playing with this with color, And I don't know if I'm going to do some of these leaves in silk ribbon. The 1/4 inch might be too big. Maybe I made a boo-boo. And maybe I should have gotten, I don't know, that might work on those petals right there. I was going to get the 1/8 inch and the 1/4 inch so I could play with both, but I cheaped out. And even though Tony said, well, if the postage is the same, get both. But it was going to be like $35 and I didn't want to. Anyway, with our trip this month, you know, and my birthday and stuff, things were a little expensive. So, that being said, I am going to be playing with the silk ribbon, with coloring it. If you would like to see me paint on it with Inktense, I have Inktense blocks. Thank you, Christine. I have Dynaflow paints, or dyes. Dynaflow dyes. Let's see. Where did I put them? They're in here somewhere. There they are. Hold on. Hold that thought. I'm digging them out. Ooh. Jiggle, jiggle. I have fabric markers, which I have done. I've used this on some thread, and I thought, oh, it's not going to color good. It's not going to... Trust me, it worked. I haven't tested the water fastness of it yet, but I also have the Dynaflow, which I found, I believe, in Hobby Lobby. And I have 8 colors of that. Of course, granted, 2 of the colors are white and black, and then brown. But I do have emerald green, I have blue, I have purple, or violet, and I have brilliant red and golden yellow. And you can mix these and get other colors. Like, you know, yeah, purple and blue, you get a really pretty teal. So I am going to be playing with the silk thread and regular embroidery floss, cotton, and I'm going to try all 3 on wool as well. I know that the markers don't work on the wool because it's too much friction to rub the markers onto the wool. I did try a little bit and it didn't work. But I will try the Inktense and I will try the Dynaflow. The Dynaflow should work, I think, but I don't know about the waterproofness of it. So there's that. Alrighty. All that being said, and I've just wasted almost 18 minutes of your time. I'm sorry. Back out. Close your eyes. Oops. Nope. Close your eyes. All right. I think right there. Only because I don't want my hands. My hands are the biggest thing because they're the thing closest to the camera. Alrighty. Now, if I had had orange silk thread, I would have definitely used silk thread on these. I didn't, and now I'm wondering if I should have used yellow anyway and just went with it, but I did not. So, number 4. Let's see if I get this right side up. So all I did was cut these out. Now, I would recommend if your flower connects in the center, like this one mostly connected in the center, maybe do this as one flower and not cut each petal out separately, because it's kind of a pain in the rear end to sew. just so you know. And let's see, I do still have some thread here. I thought I had thread on a needle still, but it's almost finished. I don't think I'll get the last one done. Last 2 done. I'll get this one probably finished. Now, the trickiest part was trying to get the fabric to stick down where I want it when I'm pushing the needle up. So there is that. So I do hope this finds everybody well. We're fine here. It has, yeah, see, that tore right through the edge of the fabric. So what I'm going to do is, it's very hard to do the individual petals, very hard. And I would not do it this way again. That's the fan humming in the background. But it is hot in here. I had another fan on as well. And we have air conditioning, but this room, when that sun starts and the heat starts in appropriately, I'm doing the summer project. And even though by the calendar it's not summer yet, but boy, it's summer in Virginia right now. So, yeah. So this one, I think I'm just going to switch it up a little bit and just do, I probably should use a finer needle. That probably would have helped as well. I'm just going to do little stitches just off the edge of the fabric, from the center to the edge. Because what I found is if I go up the center, I'm less likely to tear the edge of the fabric. If I try to come up on the edges, it's going to not work out well. And this thread is getting short and it's not fun. So I'm going to tie this off. I'm just going to put random stitches in this little petal here because, yeah, all the petals are different. Is that what a flower does? No. Is that what Martha does? Yes, because Martha is special that way. Martha likes to buck the norm and go in her own direction. The ever rambunctious, rebellious Martha. I don't come off that way, but I am very rebellious. Now I know where my children get it from. I always used to blame my husband, but it really is my fault. Don't tell him that. Okay. I'm going to try a smaller, thinner needle if I can get it. This is the needle I use for beading, but it's harder than heck to get this thread through it, the eye, because the eye is very teeny weeny weeny. Maybe not. Flip the needle over and it went through. I either flip the needle, or if that doesn't work, I flip the thread and use the other end. Eventually, one of them usually works. Okay. Yeah, so it's hot here. It was hot yesterday, it's hot today, it's going to be hot tomorrow. It's going to be hot. Oh no, we have a problem. There we go. I had to pull it up because it wasn't covering at the top. All right. But the hoop has helped tremendously with the tension of the fabric. And I'm not flipping the excess fabric all over the place because I've used the little quilt clips to hold it aside. When I was in the knitting store, the yarn store, a couple weeks ago, where I bought the Appleton wool, I'm gonna make sure I caught myself. I had sewn through one of the the outside fabric at one point. When I was in there, they make little clips that go on the edge of your hoop now, and they help hold your fabric in, like you gather your fabric and then clip your, but this does it for me. I'm okay with this. It works most of the time. I try not to put too many on because it does get heavy. Yeah, I feel like we went straight from winter to summer. 2 weeks ago, it was still cold. We were having cold. It was rainy. It was... Anyway, so the other day we went out. What day was it? Yesterday we went to the mall and walked around and popped into JCPenney, and I don't know, they didn't have anything I was happy with as far as clothing either. Must mean that I have enough to get through the summer. And I don't need any extra because I can't find clothing I like anywhere. Just shirts. I just want pullover, you know, just pullover shirts. That's all I want. And they're either too heavy, they're not stretchy enough. Well, she's whining again about clothes. So I gave up. And then the day before, what did we do to the day before? We went out for something. Groceries. And near that grocery store, okay, I need number 7. So that's this one. Is that the right direction? Why do I feel like it goes that way? Nope. It's not curved enough that way. Okay, go that way. I think that's it. Get over where you belong. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring, oh, come on, get out of the way, fabric. Let's see. I'm going to bring this up. Come on. Get in place. Thank you. Oopsies. Okay. Oh, come on. Why is there a knot? There's something going on in the back. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? Why are you fighting with me? New strand of thread and it's fighting with me. Alrighty. We went to get a few groceries before we left early. It was Friday. And here in the States, it's Memorial Day weekend where we honor well, we're supposed to be honoring those who fought for our country but didn't ever make it home. Honoring those who defended our country, whether they be military or whatever. Gosh, all right. Let's see if that works. Yep, sort of. What's going on with this thread? It's really weird, like it's rough. Having a rough day, like me. It's still not. What in heaven's name? Ay, ay, ay. So, you know, to everybody in this country, it's a day off on Monday. It's a party weekend. It's a barbecue weekend. It's a, you know, go out on the lake weekend. And yeah, so everybody was going to be at the grocery stores. And we went and got a few things to get through the weekend, what we wanted. And we don't go anywhere or do anything on this weekend. No, that's not going to work. And so we got a few things, and then I had told Tony, I don't know, a few days before that I wanted to get a clematis plant. And the reason I wanted it is because there was one here when we moved in 8 years ago. And I think they're just really pretty flowers. It's a vine that grows up a trellis. I really messed this up. I messed this up, so I am working as best I can to get it unmessed. Oy, oy, oy. Gee whiz, Martha. Not a very good video. You can't even make your stitch work. Oh, forget it. That did not work. let's see. I'll go through this way. Anywho's. So he said, let's walk over to Home Depot, because Lowe's is in a whole separate shopping center further away, and we didn't want to go that far. And look for this plant. Well, lo and behold, they had one healthy looking plant left. They had a few, but one was healthy looking. And so we picked that up, brought it home, and put it in a pot. A little, well, not little, a big pot. And it's on our deck. And it has a little tiny trellis with it. But I'm going to have to figure out another trellis for it. And we're probably going to have to bring it in the winter. Although they do grow around here, but it says if you have harsh winter, cold winters below 30, sometimes our winters are not that harsh. But other times it can be very cold and nasty here. But anyway, it says you should bring it inside. So since it's in a pot, we could bring it inside in the winter. And keep it in the sunroom, which is still cold, but it doesn't get below 30. And we even have a little portable radiator, oil radiator type heater that we can warm the sunroom with. So we could always use that. And we bought that. I'm hoping it's purple, but I couldn't tell what color because there were no active flowers on it at the time. I know they come in a couple different colors. I'll be happy no matter what the color, but I'm always happier if it's purple, if it's a purple plant. Okay. Oh, that was a struggle. This one's really going to be a struggle because it's so tiny. Now, let me check one thing. Make sure it didn't flip around. Oh, maybe that's the way it goes. Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. All right. Last one. And then, of course, I have to do the leaves and the stems and all that, but we shall see what we do. I know I'm already running out of time. I mean, I'm already at the half-hour mark, a little over. So there is that. I'm hoping I'm not sewing through any of this. I need to tighten that up a little bit because I did catch myself yesterday doing the flower. I had stitched through the edge of the fabric, this excess fabric on the side. I don't want to cut it off yet because I don't know how big I'm doing this yet. So, ow! And again. Actually, oh, Martha. I actually caught the thread in the clip there and it wasn't pulling through. Rethreading, snip the end. It's a little frayed. Not afraid, just frayed. So yeah, I'm happy with the fact that we found a healthy clematis. I'd love to find some indigo plants, but they have to be the kind that you can dye fabric with. I don't know. I know there's a book out there about indigo dyeing, something about North Carolina. It might be named the Indigo Girls. I have to look it up. I can't remember. Or that's a band. I'm getting confused. which is always possible. But anyhow, yeah. Oh my goodness. That's why I didn't do all of these petals on camera, because of how long it has taken me just to do those 3. There. It's a little odd looking, but I think when I get everything else going on here, and I probably should have done this leaf first. I'm going to probably do this in thread painting because there's no way I can lay fabric down like that. And I should have done it first because this would lay over the top of it. However, I'm just going to work at it. And that bee took me forever because it was really tiny and I was using single and double threads on it. Actually, I think I used single threads on the whole thing, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. So, there we go. And now I don't need these anymore, these little pattern pieces, because no other flower is going to look like that one on the thing, on the panel. All right, let me put my thread back where it belongs, because otherwise it'll never find its home again and it'll be tossed somewhere and then I won't know what thread I'm using. Just winding it back on the bobbin. And yeah, we're supposed to have thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are possible this afternoon. Thunderstorms definitely for sure tomorrow. All right. So there we have it. The petals. Now this one, I don't know what color I want to do. Do I want to go with a yellow? I think I want to go with a yellow. Do I want a bright yellow, such as that? Or do I want the more muted, orangey? That's definitely not with that thread. Come on, get out of there. You're not part of that thread. You're the other thread. There you go. I think you're actually part of this thread. Maybe? Nope. Where's the... Well, I'll just put it over there. Okay. Or do I want to go with this, which has white in it as well, which this has, but that's too much like that color, and I'm trying to get a little more brightness. So I think the answer for that flower is the brighter yellow. Yes, that is the answer. I think we're gonna go with that. All right, so I have a little piece stuck in the nice thing about these little balls here is if you have little pieces left over, you can stick them in there, which I tend to do because then I'm using the pieces. So let's see, which one of these is longer? All right, I think this one will make the wagon wheel for that. So I think we'll be okay with that. Nope. That didn't work. Nope. Oh, come on. Might have to use my chenille needle. Yep. Which doesn't really matter because it's easier to weave with the chenille needle, but for making the little wagon wheels. Now, one of my subscribers is new to slow stitching, so she asked about this. This can be done with thread, or now I'm going to start the center down a little further so the edges are even. This can be done with thread or ribbon this way, okay? So I'm making 5 spokes from the center out. So you do like 10 o'clock, you do 12 o'clock, you do 2 o'clock, you do 5 o'clock, and you do like somewhere around 8 o'clock. So we have the 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And I go from the out in because that knot is behind there and I should have started out, not in. And then 5 o'clock. Now this flower is sort of headed this way. Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's showing us its face. So I'm trying to sort of go along that same pattern. But you also want evenness. Oh, that didn't work well at all. Got to get that more towards the center and not the side there, Marth. Oopsies. Alrighty. Try that again. There we go. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to end this thread because I don't want to start a new thread in the middle of my spokes. You can, but I don't want to. So I'm ending that, and I'll use that bit for another wagon wheel. And I'm going to get quite a long piece because this is not ribbon. This is thread. Okay, so that's probably, let me see. That's a little over 2 of my arm lengths, but I got short pterodactyl arms, so. Chenille needle is the best for ribbon or this. If you have a blunt one, this one's sharp. I do have some blunt ones, but I'm not pulling out an extra needle right now. And so once you have your 5 spokes, you want to, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit while I'm doing this. You want to come up through the center, just south of center. I usually start just south of center, although I bounce around a lot when I do my stuff. I'm not very consistent. Or you can come up on the side like this. You want to be just close to center, but not in, I'm trying to get the right spot. Not in the center. You don't want to stab any of your threads that you have for spokes. Pull it till your knot is tight. So you're going to go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Each one is going to change. That's why you need an odd number to weave through. And you don't go through the fabric again. So under, over, under, and don't make a loop. Over, under, and you can do this with ribbon or with thread. Like I said, you can use wool, so that's under, over, under. So whatever you did prior, we started with under, so now we're going over. So that's under, over, under. And if you use the eye of your needle, you will not stab your spokes. And if you do stab your spokes, you're not going to be able to tighten it and move it in towards the center. So I hope that helps. Under, over, under. If I'd had some pretty yellow, I would have used maybe wool for this, but I have to dye the silk in order to use it for the other petals. So I'm just doing the wagon wheel for now. Let's see. Under, over, under, over, under. And what I try and do is, you don't want to pull it too tight, but you want it to go around nicely. And this one is getting tight because I didn't make that one as long. That's how it is on the flower. And I'll show you what you can do if you need to fill in longer spokes that are showing. when we get to that point. But I do lay it down. You can do it two ways. You can build it up over this, but it'll take way more thread. But I lay it around the edge. You want it to continue to lay around the edge. Okay? And this variegated thread is going to change shades, and that'll show in the flower itself. Over, under. Don't loop it through. You will make a knot. You don't want a knot. Ooh, speaking of knots, there are knots. Several TV shows that we watch, series that we watch, are ending, so it's been a week of goodbyes for TV shows that we enjoy. I don't know what they're going to come up with next, but usually takes us a while to find something else we like to take that takes those time slots. I don't like violence or, you know, too much action. There are shows Tony watches that I won't watch. So, I don't know what they're going to be replaced with. Shonda Rhimes is doing away with Grey's Anatomy, and The Good Doctor ended, and yeah, I'm trying to see. There is a spoke there, and see, you can barely see it anymore, so you can't miss it when you're doing your over-under, or it'll kind of make everything look a little wonky doodle. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not a horrible mistake, but I hope you can see the sort of rose effect coming to life. Let's see. So there's one there. I'm going to skip that one. Oh, my leg is falling asleep. I'm sitting badly. Bad posture, bad posture. I yell at Tony all the time about his posture, and that's what he's going to physical therapy for, but I have to remember my own posture, especially when I'm sitting and doing this. So there's still one there, and there's one there. This is pretty much going to cover it. I go until I can't get the thread through anymore. I don't want it to go too far underneath it either, but it does lift it up, and you can see it has a little height to it. So I just keep checking for those wagon wheel threads, so I don't miss the one I'm supposed to go into. So I did that one. There's one there. That's the one I need. So if you run into it where, I'm also falling out of my chair. If you run into it where these are longer and you can see the spokes, see, you really can't see these, and whatever I do after that's going to cover it up anyway. But you can go under, over, under, and come back around this way. Oops, and not unthread your needle. And you can keep going back and forth like that. Oh, really? Only on camera, I swear to you. Okay. And guide it to go under there. Okay. And then you can keep going back and forth here if you need to. I don't need to. It's pretty covered up. I mean, that spoke shows a little, that spoke shows a little, so I'm going to keep going around, and what I just did there won't hurt it. And it'll actually look like this flower did, where it's facing a certain way. But I'm going to go a couple of more times. I did under, under. And you don't pull too tightly on the threads. You want them up against it, but as you get to the outside, you just want to do a little bit looser so that they aren't all dodging under that, under the bottom there and just hiding anyway. And you can do the same thing with ribbon. This can be thread or ribbon. Now I'm going to go, I feel like I'm done. I'm going to go underneath a little bit, under here, and just put my needle back through the back. Now I'm going to move you out. And there you go. That's it. And you just tie off if you're not going to keep using your thread to do the other petals. And a ribbon rose that stands alone, you wouldn't. So it's either a wagon wheel rose, a ribbon rose, you know, there's several several names for them. Yeah. Now, could I have done that in the silk ribbon once I dye it? Yes, I could have. But I wanted that to be the center. What I'm going to do with the rest of them, like I said, I'm going to try the silk ribbon. Corinne's really good at silk ribbon. I am not. So I am going to paint some silk ribbon and use yellow that is more bright like this, probably the Dynaflow and the Inktense. This is a golden yellow. I'm going to see how light that is. And then the Inktense, I will use, I'll see, this almost looks like a golden yellow too. Here's a bright yellow. Here's a bright yellow. We'll use that one. So I'll mix this. I'll either mix that. I don't know if this is a brown, a tan. I don't know. I don't want to pull it out. I'll probably mix this in the Dynaflow and see what I get to make a sort of variegated type of shade for ribbon. And we will take it from there. So I'm going to wrap this up. I know I didn't do a whole lot of stitching. I did that and a lot of yapping and a lot of ups and downs and showing you fabrics and threads and stuff. The next one I will try and stitch more. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but did you see these little purple lavender plants? I'm going to have fun with that. Now, I'm going to make more of those up through, there's one there, a couple here. I'm going to be doing more of those. Like, there will be more stems coming out here because I actually have a lavender plant on my deck and it has come back for years. Yeah. Now, I think some of these bees might get covered up by other things, leaves, lavender. I don't know, because I am not stitching every single one of these little bees. That one took me like an hour. So I don't know that I'm going to be stitching those. And I have to decide what to do with these flowers. If I'm going to cut them out of something like this, or, you know, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know yet if I'll use that fabric or maybe something like this. That'd be pretty. And that would bring in the pink and the blue. Where's my other pinks and blues? That's yellow. These are my blues. Do I have another pink like that? No. But I could use this background here, cut some of this background out. And I think those would be pretty, like, either maybe up here and over here. The yellow maybe. I think I'll thread paint these white ones because I really do like the white. But I may make them other colors. But these little ones down here might be yellow and white striped. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see how far I get. Alrighty, that's it. thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you all, and give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. Doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Doesn't cost you anything. Say hello. Say something in the comments. You like where I'm going? You don't like the orange? You like the orange? Thank you for the ribbon rose. I don't know. Or the woven rose, the wagon wheel rose, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, let me know what you think. And I really appreciate all of the suggestions I had on the first video for this one, because there were some good ones in there. I will talk to you soon, and I'll be back when I can, as long as I can stay cool in this room. The problem is when I go out to the living room, it's like 5 degrees cooler out there, and then we're cold. Tony's wearing a sweatshirt and socks and long pants. So I'll see you in the next one. Find your joy, have fun creating, and do you. Thanks. Love you. Bye.